Hey, so I know I haven't done anything like this before, and this is basically one of my first videos. But E3 is coming up, and I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to make a video. It's even tomorrow, so better late than never, right? So I made a pretty interesting list of things to talk about. I'll get right into it because I don't want to bore anybody that happens to watch this. I first will start talking about how there's things that I want, of course, from the conference, and things that we'll probably get instead, because you know how great Sony, Microsoft, and all those developers love our input. First thing is that I would say that you should know that I'm a Sony guy, or whatever. I'll try not to be too fanboyish, but whatever. It'll probably come through anyway. The first thing that me, along with probably everybody, wants is game variety. We all want different types of games. Fighters, racing games, sports games. Well, maybe not so much sports games, but adventure games. Even some of those sound games that are kind of interesting sometimes. But I kind of expect that they'll end up just being tons and tons of shooters, of course. I guess we'll wait and see. And the next thing is a specific set of games. There's Killer Instinct that's been really, really well rumored. I'm somewhat familiar with it, kind of through its rivalry, more or less, with Mortal Kombat. But it looks pretty interesting. I'd like to see a nice quality, bloody action game. That would be nice for a change of pace. Still planning on getting Injustice Gods Among Us, though, so yeah, maybe Killer Instinct will be more interesting, and I'll hold my money out for that. Next thing is the Super Smash Brothers sequel or whatever. Again, I mostly only have a PS3, but I've played Super Smash Brothers like a lot, so hopefully the next one will be really interesting. They're definitely gonna have that trailer there, I've heard. So, and then the new Zelda. Of course, I hope they'll have another one. I like Skyward Sword, and maybe a lot of people said that they didn't like it, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'll be interested in that pretty much no matter what, but hopefully they put a nice spin on it, since it is kind of getting a little bit old, just a little bit. The next thing that might be more of a joke to a lot of people, I suppose, it'd be nice if they really did announce the Dreamcast 2. I like Dreamcast 1 a whole bunch, and while I'm talking about that, also Sonic Adventure 3 would be awesome to have. Of course, since it sounds like Nintendo is having Sonic exclusive games for a while. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Sonic Adventure 3 came out for the Wii U, but I really hope to see that. That'd be really, really interesting. I might even get a Wii U if Sonic Adventure 3 came out on it, but of course they can't make it too childish. The next thing is, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this, about having a Vita inside the PS4 bundle type thing, That'd be pretty interesting. I mean, I like Vita, kinda. Yeah, not many games, but it still looks like a nice piece of hardware. And, yeah, I'd like to get it. If it came packaged with the PS4, I wouldn't complain. I'd definitely enjoy it, I think. Next thing is, Blood Dragon 2. Some of you might be aware of Far Cry 3's, DLC Blood Dragon. I've heard rumors that Ubisoft, the first Blood Dragon was really, really well. People liked it a lot, so it sounds like they'd be interested in at least making another one. I would imagine it'd be on the next generation of consoles. And I don't know, maybe Blood Dragon 2 wouldn't be quite a great idea, but maybe something like Blood Dragon, really corny, really, I guess, 80s type thing. And the next two things are basically they're about PS4 exclusives. I'm a really big fan of Final Fantasy 13 versus. I'd really love to see it, even if it did turn out to be Final Fantasy 15. I really am expecting that. Hopefully it'll be in there. I'm actually kind of expecting a spring release for that. Spring 2014. That'd be really nice. Obviously for next gen. I would love it if it came, if it was a release title. But I mean, we haven't heard that much about it, so it's pretty hard to say. Also, for anybody expecting anything about Kingdom Hearts 3, you should know that the developer, Nomura, for the Kingdom Hearts games, he's working on Versus 13, so we have to wait till he's done with Versus 13 so that he can go to Kingdom Hearts 3. So, I expect Kingdom Hearts 3 in like 2015 probably. That's actually might be an early estimate. So, and then the next thing is that I would want a new like super IP to replace the God of War series. I mean, I like God of War. I really, really love God of War 3. But I wouldn't mind like another big iconic series. Of course, it's hard to just make those, but I expect that Sony will either come out with a God of War 4, or more likely, I think, is a new, a new iconic franchise. We'll see if they do that. But now onto my next list is what we'll probably get, which I have that we'll probably get a little innovation and a little originality, just like the last few years. I mean, Assassin's Creed 4 is coming out, so so unique. But you never know. I'd like more innovation in games. Of course, everybody does. But I'm kind of expecting like 2 new IPs per conference at the moment. Maybe there'll be other new games, but there'll be like nothing innovative. I think there'll be like maybe 2 innovative IPs per conference. That's definitely on the high end now that I think about it, but so next thing is clarification on the PS4, because we don't know that much when it comes right down to it compared to the Xbox One. But I expect they'll be very, very clear, and I think at least that the release will be in late October this year. Xbox One will probably be like early November, something like that. That's my guess at least. And Xbox One, as we've heard in the last few days, they'll probably get even more vague, and they'll probably be even more vague, or maybe they'll be just very clear and have horrible, horrible answers to all these questions we have. The next thing is that I think that most likely in the Xbox One conference we'll hear too much about Call of Duty. Just Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. Yeah, we don't need to know more about Call of Duty. Are they going to introduce aliens? I don't think that would even be that interesting. Still Call of Duty, still Call of Duty. It's not going to be that unique. And while we're talking about Call of Duty, again, expect more shooters, and either for Xbox One or maybe even for everybody. I don't know about Destiny too much, but it looks like a shooter to me. MMO shooter or something, but shooter's a shooter when it comes right down to it. By the way, I'm more of a action-adventure player myself, so I play plenty of shooters, but those rarely keep my attention. I think we'll also hear the Metal Gear Solid 5 release date. I'm really expecting big things from Metal Gear Solid 5, and I doubt it'll disappoint. I personally, I expect Ground Zeroes to release as a with with the launch of the PlayStation 4, and then the actual Metal Gear Solid 5 to like release like 6 months later or something like that. But it's hard to say because Kojima, he could he might extend the development for that or something. But I mean, it seems like they were pretty far along. All those trailers look really impressive to me. And I expect that we will hear some news about The Last Guardian. But it's hard to say. I mean, yeah, I mean, just the lack of information is pretty baffling on The Last Guardian. I personally, I don't see the big deal about The Last Guardian. I loved Shadow of the Colossus. Ico looked okay, but The Last Guardian, I don't know. I mean, I guess we haven't seen that much, so I don't know. Either they'll say that. I don't know. I expect that some sort of news will be released. Either they're halting development, or it's going to be episodic or something. Who knows? And the last thing that I expect that we'll get is that I think the Xbox One will be about $400 to $450 and the PS4 will be $350 to $400. Of course, with all of those extra bundling and like 80 gigabytes and 200 gigabytes and stuff. I don't know how many versions they'll have. I think it'd be better if they just had the one version, just 1,000 gigabyte console or something. I think it'd just be better if they just had the one version instead of the two that both of them had. But I expect the PS4 will be less in price. Then again, Xbox One's probably gonna have so much crap mixed in with it, with it's $50 less, and then you get the extra Xbox Live yearly subscription, but then you keep paying for the yearly subscription over and over again, and look where you are 10 years down the line or whatever when you've spent like $500 extra dollars on it or whatever. But maybe they'll be the same price. Who knows? I guess we'll wait and see. Something kind of interesting to note is that we shouldn't expect certain things. Like, I expect that we shouldn't expect Microsoft to be the opposite of how they acted and what they showed in May. Everybody hates them right now, but then there's a few diehards that are like, oh well, they didn't show the games in May. They never planned to show the games in May. They'll show them all at E3. It's like, well, they should have known that people would want games. I mean, and anyhow, Microsoft has never been that great at first-party exclusives anyhow. So what makes anybody think the games will be that good? Okay, let's say they'll get another Halo, and they'll get Forza, and they'll get Gears of War. Please, tell me another astounding game that they'll come up with. They're going to have to be new IPs, and new IPs tend to be, they tend to be really great or really bad. There's Alan Wake too. That'll probably be pretty decent, but again, compare exclusives, for the PlayStation versus Xbox, and yeah, there's really no comparison. Don't expect Pokemon news. I heard some people saying that they should expect it or something, but why would they talk about Pokemon? I don't think they've ever talked about Pokemon at E3, and they don't need to, that's for sure. But by the way, I'm a Pokemon fan, so if everything sounds contradictory, it's not too surprising. I played Dark Souls too, so yeah, I play like everything. I like action adventure. Doesn't matter what tone it is. Oh, we're talking about action adventure. Bayonetta 2, I believe, will not stay exclusive. I believe that it will stop being, I believe it will go over either, I believe it'll go to the PS4 and the Xbox One. Well, I don't know. Was Xbox One having like publishers choosing whether the game can be whatever, like used games and all that crap? Actually, I suppose I should expect Bayonetta 2 to go over to the PS4, but not. But again, yeah, PS4, Wii U, for Bayonetta 2. That's my prediction. Uh, yeah, I mean, just I'd be shocked if Platinum Games can allow Bayonetta 2 to only be for the Wii U, especially since all the core fans of Bayonetta are on the other systems anyhow. Um, and I know earlier I talked about this, but again, don't expect Kingdom Hearts 3 news for any reason. I mean, yeah, if there's any, I'll be really shocked if there's any info about that. Again, there's so many Final Fantasy games that Square Enix has to release that, I mean, news on Kingdom Hearts is like not possible. I'd be in complete shock if it was talked about at all. The last thing in this very long good video I know that I want to talk about is the games I want the most info about. Um, I don't want to make a top 10 list because uh, that basically would be all of the games I'm actually just interested in. I'm only interested in like 50% of the games that are made anyhow. Um, the first game I'm interested in is Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm like gonna be so fucking addicted to it. I mean, loved all the other games, and this one looks like it's gonna be the best in every way. It doesn't look. Actually, thinking about it, it doesn't really look too much like it's gonna be a sneaking game, but I don't know. I like Metal Gear Revengeance quite a bit, so I don't mind it being more shootery, but of course it has to have a strong story. That's very, very important, of course. The next game I'm interested in is Super Smash Brothers sequel. Uh, Mostly just because I'm a Pokemon fan, honestly. I like Kirby also. So I mean, there's plenty of things that, plenty of characters I'm gonna be interested in. I hope they have some interesting Pokemon characters in it. Maybe heard maybe Mewtwo would be interesting. I like Lucario, but maybe have Blaziken is what I'd prefer over Lucario, but I've heard some people didn't like that, so I don't know. Blaziken would look cool in the game, I think. Next game I'm interested in is Batman Origins. That looked freaking awesome. I'm liking Dead, nah, not Deadpool. I liked um, Deathstroke more and more. I liked him in Teen Titans. I mean, I just like his entire character. He don't have over the top superpowers, but he gets the job done. Um, I mostly just want more info on that. I mean, I'm probably gonna get it no matter what, but I just need more info. Need to know like how they're improving. I'm also interested in Infamous Second Sons. Like I wasn't too interested at first. I mean, I love Infamous, but I needed more info. It sounds like he can absorb powers, so smoke isn't his only power. So it sounds unbelievable. Can't wait for more info on that one. And the last one is Final Fantasy 15 or versus 13, whatever it is. I can't wait for any info on all at all. I mean, I really expect info on it to come out. So if no info comes, oh man, I probably will end up crying or something because oh, I need info on that. I just refuse to believe that they stopped making it. So those are all things that I want to discuss. Thanks for listening. I don't expect subscribers, but I do I am thankful for the views. So, yeah, comment however you want. Yep. Bye.
Gary motherfucking Oak.